while.
All right, so we're going to call to order tonight's regular city commission meeting for November 15th, 2021. Can we have the roll call, Tabitha?
Mayor Young,
Here.
Commissioner Guthrie,
Here.
Commissioner Lewis,
Here.
Commissioner Badway,
Here.
and Commissioner Wilson.
Present.
For invocation tonight, we have Pastor Mark Somerville from the Family Worship Center.
Shall we pray? Our gracious Father, tonight we come to you, and your word tells us that if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God. And tonight we are asking for your wisdom and your guidance and direction in this city meeting this evening. We know there'll be many issues that will come before them this evening, and they need your wisdom, your guidance, and your direction. We pray that you'll help them in their selection of the new police chief in this community. We pray your hand of blessing upon our present chief and continue to bless him in all he does. We just want to thank you tonight for your wisdom, for your guidance for this meeting. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Would everyone please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have some recognitions tonight and a proclamation. So we're going to dive into service award recognitions. Okay, we'll do the proclamation first. Sorry. It was flipped around on the agenda. I just do what I'm told. Okay, so tonight's proclamation. Whereas public schools are the backbone of our democracy, providing young people with the tools they need to maintain our nation's precious values of freedom, civility, and equality. And whereas by equipping young Americans with both practical skills and broader intellectual abilities, schools give them hope for and access to a productive future. And whereas education employees, be they custodians or teachers, bus drivers or librarians, work tirelessly to serve our children and communities with care and professionalism. Whereas schools are community linchpins bringing together adults and children, educators and volunteers, business leaders and elected officials in a common enterprise, now therefore I, Bill Young, Mayor of El Dorado, Kansas, do hereby proclaim the week of November 15th through the 19th, 2021 as the observance of American Education Week. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the city of El Dorado, Kansas be affixed the 15th day of November 2021. And before we move on to recognitions, I would say in the spirit of American Education Week, I am super excited to say congratulations to the staff, students, and parents of Grandview Elementary School on being awarded the United States Blue Ribbon Award. The National Blue Ribbon Schools program recognizes public and private elementary, middle, and high schools based on their overall academic excellence or their progress in closing achievement gaps among student subgroups. Every year, the U.S. Department of Education seeks out and celebrates great American schools, schools demonstrating that all students can achieve to high levels. The coveted National Blue Ribbon School Award affirms the hard work of students, educators, families, and communities in creating safe and welcoming schools where students master challenging and engaging content. The National Blue Ribbon School flag gracing an entry or flying overhead is a widely recognized symbol of exemplary teaching and learning. The Secretary of Education for the United States of America, Miguel Cardona, had this to say: "This year's honorees demonstrate what is possible when committed educators and school leaders create vibrant, welcoming, and affirming school cultures where rich teaching and learning can flourish. I commend this school and all our Blue Ribbon honorees for working to keep students healthy and safe while meeting their academic, social, emotional, and mental health needs. In the face of unprecedented circumstances, you found creative ways to engage, care for, protect, and teach our children. Blue Ribbon schools have so much to offer and can serve as a model for other schools and communities." In this week of American Education USA, we celebrate the role models, mentors, and leaders who devote themselves to the progress and success of each new generation, to reinforcing our common bonds, and to lifting up our highest ideals. Let us all recommit ourselves to building an America that is more just, equal, unified, and prosperous. Let us leave our children a nation and a world that is better than the one we inherited. And in the spirit of history's greatest teachers, let us help all of our students to love learning, seek lives of dignity, decency, and respect, and work together for the common good. And to the mass of students that are probably watching tonight, I challenge each of you to always act responsible, Always be respectful and always care for yourself and others. So congratulations again to Grandview School on being named the National Blue Ribbon School. Very awesome. So now, we're going to move on, maybe. Now, Tabitha's going to tell me what we're going to do next.
Was the Circle Middle School here?
He left after the pledge.
He left, okay. Sorry, we had a student here to lead the pledge and we skipped it.
I am horrible.
But it's okay, we're having
Have him
some
come back next
agenda.
time and-
Yes, we'll have him come back. I was hoping he was still here and we would just have him come up, but we will start with, service awards.
I mean, it says on there, and I didn't read that part, so.
We are going to start with our 10-year service awards, and the first one will be Derek Clean. So Derek and Jason can come up. And the microphone is not working. It's not working, so if you just want to talk loud, I'll go.
Do you want us facing this way?
Yeah, it's the camera.
Derek began his career in service with the City of El Dorado on June 2nd, 2011 at the water treatment plant. He is a KDHE Class 4 water operator, which is the highest level of certification attainable in the industry. Derek is also part of the team that won Best Tasting Water in Kansas back in 2016. Derek's civic volunteering includes 6 years on the local Crime Stoppers Board, including the role of president. He is married to Tracy and they have a son, Dante. The family recently moved to the country, owning a farmstead near Potland. Thank you for your 10 years of service with the City of El Dorado.
Use this nifty mic. Kylie Wilson has been with the city as since 2011, and she started as a utility billing clerk in 2014, much to my chagrin at the time because I was her supervisor. She was promoted to payroll clerk, and I was sad to lose her. But since then, I've gotten her back. So Kyla is married to Randy, and they have a son named Carson. Kyla has been an integral part of the city for many years. She's an Excel master. She loves to bake and spends her free time perusing the home shopping network. Okay, next. Derek Boggs.
This is working now, okay. Lieutenant Derek Boggs started his career in 2006 and worked his way up to the ranks and was promoted to lieutenant in 2020. When he is not working at the fire station, he enjoys playing golf, riding his bicycle, and spending time with his family. Over the last 15 years, he expressed how much he has enjoyed serving the city and citizens of El Dorado and looks forward to serving for many more. Thank you for 15 years of service, Lieutenant Boggs. Lieutenant Kobe Spears started working for the El Dorado Fire Department as a Butler Fire Science student resident in January of 2006. He was hired as a full-time firefighter in October of 2006 and was promoted to the position of lieutenant in 2012. Lieutenant Spear is one of our certified fire investigators and helps serve the community as an advanced EMT. His other full-time job is remodeling his house to his wife's decorative vision, and he hopes to make it to retirement in both of those fields. Thank you for service for 15 years, Lieutenant Spear.
Lieutenant Travis Pierce. Travis grew up along the banks of the Republican River in the small town of Clyde in north central Kansas. He attended Clifton Clyde High School, graduated in 2001. After high school, he attended Cloud County Community College and transferred to Emporia State University, where he received a Bachelor of Science degree in sociology in 2005. 2006, Travis was hired by the El Dorado Police Department and hasn't looked back. He currently serves as a patrol lieutenant. He is the department's field training program supervisor and radar LiDAR instructor. In his free time, he enjoys spending time with his wife, Carissa, and his son, Wiley. He also enjoys playing guitar. He doesn't only play, he is very good. The Monkey Business Band, remember that. He also enjoys playing pinball, has recently started restoring a 1967 Chevelle Super Sport that he has had since 1996. Congratulations, Travis, on your 15 years of service. Thank you.
Barry is an Army veteran serving his country in Afghanistan, throughout Operation Enduring Freedom. He continued his career in service with the City of El Dorado on January 10, 2006. His previous work experience with Westar as a meter reader made him a natural hire for the department. After an initial 2 years as a meter reader, Barry transitioned to the distribution and collections crew, where he progressed to an Operator 1. Barry then assumed responsibility for the city's initial GIS efforts to locate our infrastructure and found data collection to be a rewarding experience and returned to meter reading in 2011. Barry is a Halloween fanatic and looks forward to creating his display each year. He is married to Melanie and they have 2 children, Tyler and Aiden. Congratulations on your service.
Yeah, you are.
Randy is a lifelong resident of El Dorado and began his career in service with the City of El Dorado on September 6, 2006, also as a meter reader. To put it mildly, Randy is a rabid football fan and enjoys spending time with his dog Jackson when not at work. Both of these guys have logged more miles than I can imagine as our meter readers. This position is vital to the department in order to ensure accurate usage readings for billing, as well as our first line of defense in the field, providing early indication of potential leaks within the system. The 2 of them will be very valuable when implementing new technology in the future to better serve our customers. Thank you both for your 15 years of service with the City of El Dorado.
Okay, this is Mr. Eric Tharp. We are at our 20 years service award. So Eric started in November of 2001 with the city as an engineering technician, which he currently holds that position today. Eric has been involved in numerous significant projects for the city of El Dorado over the years. You name it, any major street in town that has had work done to it, wastewater treatment plant expansion, to the tennis courts that were just completed. Eric plays a major role in all of that, and we appreciate his 20 years. Josh started in December 2001. Yep. And he started in the cemeteries and worked as a maintenance crew for the cemeteries. Ended up finding a position in public utilities, water distribution, sewer collections. Worked there for a few years. In 2008, made the transition to the engineering department. Josh, as well as Eric, has been involved in a number of significant projects over the years. Josh has created storm sewer maps, water utility maps, sewer maps for a city, just based on his own knowledge, sitting down, trying to understand it and learning new skills, and he's greatly appreciated. Plays a significant role in a lot of major infrastructure projects. We appreciate his 20 years.
Scott's here. I mean, some people at home.
Should be working. Well,
You won't hear it here, but they'll hear it at home.
so Scott started with the city 20 years ago, and he started as an engineering intern and has proceeded up through those ranks to assistant engineer, and now he's the city engineer. He's also served as an interim city manager when we were in between city managers. In case you guys weren't keeping track, the engineering department pretty much all started 20 years ago. So that's obviously good because it shows that they've obviously got a pretty good working relationship over there and have been pretty good. Scott he's very involved in the community. He's involved with his church. He's an avid baseball fan, particularly with his kids, and football as well. He's done a lot of great things for our community. He's been involved with planning a number of projects that you all use every day, whether that be water projects, sewer projects, street projects, whatever you use on a daily basis, Scott's probably had a hand in. So for that, we're very appreciative of his 20 years and for the next 20 years. So thanks, Scott. And my teleprompter there's telling me that Joe's been here for 25 years. So Joe, if you'll come down. I'll give you this so I don't have to. There you go. So Joe has been with the fire department for 25 years. He's served in a number of positions all the way from a firefighter to an operator to a fire marshal. And then he got the call to be an assistant fire chief. And then eventually the fire chief. He's been involved in a number of things involving the fire department. Most recently, he helped negotiate a hazardous materials response agreement with Butler County. And he's been instrumental in kind of getting a specifications sheet together for our new fire truck, which we're going to approve the bonds for tonight. So a number of things. He's always got his mind thinking about how we can improve the department and make sure that it's ready to meet the demands of the community. And so for that, we're very appreciative of 25 years and look forward to the future. Thanks, John.
Sergeant Dan Jones, come on up. We're now up to 30 years. Boy, does time fly. Here, hold on to that, sir. There we go. All right. Dan was born and raised in El Dorado for majority of his childhood. He attended Circle Towanda Elementary School until his family moved to Waukesha, Wisconsin to join the New Tribe Mission organization. While growing up, he lived in several different states. Dan graduated from Seminole High School in Sanford, Florida. After graduating, he moved back to this area and attended Butler Community College. In February of 1991, at age 21, he started his career with the El Dorado Department of Public Safety. At that time, all officers were trained in both law enforcement and firefighting. In 1995, the Department of Public Safety was divided into police and fire divisions. I'll turn the page. 30 years, a long time. At that time, Dan made the decision to remain serving his community in the law enforcement with the El Dorado Police Department. Dan takes pride in his work and connections he's made over the last 30 years of law enforcement. Dan is married to his wife, Julie. On April 24th, 1993. They have 3 sons, Darren, 22 years old, Andrew, or AJ, 20 years old, Isaac, or Ike, 16 years old, daughter, Autumn, 20 years, and Amariah, 4 years. And they reside in rural El Dorado. I'll just tell some stories about Danny. He's a snake wrangler extraordinaire. When I was on the street, if I got a snake call, I just called Dan, because he bats, snakes, lizards, it doesn't matter. He'll handle them all. But congratulations on your 30 years with the El Dorado Police Department.
Mr. Mayor, we had a few employees that were unable to make it this evening. Receiving their 10-year awards were Don Argo from Parks and Recreation, Jay Marshall from Public Works, and Jason Reiswig from Parks and Recreation, and another 30-year award to Ron McClure from Public Utilities.
Wow. Well, thank you to all of you and, to all of our city staff, but I think it says a lot about our city of El Dorado and the working environment that we have here and the opportunities that are provided, and that we have employees that have been here for 30 years. So we're certainly glad for all of you. I'm kind of proud to be able to sit up here. I think all of us are to be able to sit up here and be of service to the staff, all of you that are out doing the work every day. So 1 year to 30 years, I really appreciate all the work all of you do, and I'm sure that we all feel that way. So thank you again. Let's hear it for all of them one more time. Okay, so next item on the agenda, and Tabitha will correct me if I am wrong again, but personal appearances. Personal appearances are opportunities for organizations or citizens to make special presentations before the City Commission. Such appearances are scheduled in advance of the meeting by calling City Clerk Tabitha Sharp at 316-321-9100 by 5 o'clock p.m. the Tuesday preceding the meeting. Presentations are limited to 10 minutes, and any presentation is for information purposes only. No action will be taken. And it does not look like we have any personal appearances tonight.
We do not.
Public comments. Persons who wish to address the City Commission regarding items that are not on the agenda and that are under the jurisdiction of the City Commission may do so when called upon. Comments on personnel matters and matters pending in court are not permitted. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, and any presentation is for information purposes only, and no action will be taken. Do we have anyone here for public comment?
We have Peter and Judith Storiant.
Being nostalgic due to that.
Oh, sorry. So this is not Peter and Judith, this is Susie Locke.
Yes, on behalf of Peter and Judy, who are at 105 Race, Peter is here
There
this
he is.
evening.
I was looking for him out there.
But Judy could not make it, and I'm with Adams Jones Law Firm, Susie Locke, 223 North Main. I don't know if you still have to say your address, but there we go. Yes.
Okay, so if they've retained counsel,
Yeah, Susie and I have been talking.
Okay.
So, yeah, thanks for checking them.
okay.
And I am actually, I don't want to speak to you tonight. I want to open up the opportunity for a dialogue between the Storiants and the community and the commission. So, as you know, the city has been dedicated for really forever and well known for its commitment to beautification projects, to beautiful streetscapes, hanging flower baskets, including the newest commissioned artwork here on Main and Central, which has intricate detail that I've been watching them put in every weekend over the past several weeks. One of those letters is, in fact, sunflowers. And it's not the sunflowers that you plant in your backyard in beautiful rows, but it's a depiction of the sunflowers that grow naturally here in the state of Kansas. And it's that type of natural landscaping that we want to have a conversation with the commission about. El Dorado as a municipal body has really embraced beautification, has really embraced landscaping projects, and we're here to ask you to embrace the same here in your local community. There's a national trend towards the protection and the enhancement of natural landscapes, including widely diverse projects across the country and adaptations to municipal codes that allow for those projects to occur locally. In Kansas, we've seen those projects occur in Johnson County on large scales, Lawrence, Manhattan, a few areas that are embracing municipal codes that allow for natural landscapes and well-maintained and well-groomed reintegration of natural grasses into individuals' private property. Here locally, you've seen the trend in the Haverhill Beautification Project. You see natural grasses and beds at the new Emprise Bank. You see it at the entrance to BG Products Veteran Sports Complex, and even in the butterfly garden that's maintained by the City of El Dorado on 6th Street. So what we're asking from you is the opportunity and the commitment to review some documents which we have prepared and to have a conversation with us about El Dorado and how we can be more innovative and more welcoming of natural landscaping projects here on the public and private scale. There's benefits to this: reduced water usage, no fertilizers or pesticides, pollination sites for bees and butterflies, air quality enhancements, and of course sustainability and the opportunity to bring the Flint Hills into our community. So I have some takeaways for you. Again, this is not an opportunity for me to just speak to you, but an opportunity for all of us to become more educated on what's going on and some of the opportunities for change. Included in these binders are a progressive photo display of what the Strants have done to their property over the years, which includes almost a 10,000 square foot backyard, which is currently naturally landscaped in a beautiful artscape. There's also a brochure in there about a Restoring Our Roots walking tour throughout the state of Kansas that features the Strants backyard, and also some additional educational materials and a copy of the current municipal code. So with that, I would like to hand these out, and I will stand for questions if you have it. Oh, I have one. Any questions?
No, I mean, I think this is certainly an opportunity for us to address this and start working on it in a work session and dive into the documentation that you brought, Susie. I appreciate it.
And I think a huge benefit that you have is you have two advocates that want to work with you and that are very passionate and very educated. Both Peter and Judy are very passionate about this project. It's not just a presentation and then walking away. You have people in the community that want to help facilitate a conversation.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Susie. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Okay. Thank you, Susie, and thank you, Peter, for being here. Moving on to the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda, we're considering the approval of City Commission minutes from June 21st, 2021, October 18th, 2021, and special City Commission minutes from October 27th, 2021, and an appropriation ordinance number 10-21 in the amount of $1,840,701.10. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that the consent agenda is presented be approved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. There's nothing in old business, so we're going to move on to new business. Agenda item number 12, consideration of the hazardous materials agreement with Butler County.
City Commission, the agreement before you today would extend an existing agreement with Butler County for hazardous materials response. The El Dorado Fire Department provides a hazardous materials response to any hazardous materials incident that occurs within the boundaries of Butler County. And so this agreement that is before you today simply reduces that arrangement to writing. The county compensates the city $16,000 a year for providing these services to the county. Those dollars are meant to replace any hazardous materials equipment that is needed, and also to compensate the city for any time that is used for hazardous materials calls, which there are not a lot of. In addition, New in this agreement, the county is also agreeing to pay for a portion up to a maximum of $187,500 for a response apparatus necessary to replace our existing unit. The total amount that the county will contribute is based upon whether the city decides to replace the current piece of equipment with either a combination fire engine / hazardous materials hazardous materials units, or replace it with a standalone hazardous materials unit. If the city does a standalone hazardous materials unit replacement, we'll get more dollars from the county. The primary reason for that is the county does not want to necessarily get into the business of buying fire trucks for all of the fire departments around the county, and I can't say that I blame them. So at some point in the future, when we're going to bring back the hazardous materials agreement for your all's review and attention, we will give you those options and make that. But at any rate, this agreement provides a mechanism by which the county will pay for a portion of that replacement cost, since we are coming due to the point of needing to replace that piece of equipment. So with that, I will take any questions that you may have.
Are you ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
Okay, I move to approve the proposal, or the proposed hazmat agreement and direct the mayor to sign said agreement.
Second. Motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion or questions for Dave? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 13, consideration of a special use permit at 323 South Main Street for public assembly.
Yes, Mayor, Commission, Connect Church submitted an application to ask for a special use permit to create a public assembly venue at 323 South Main. The Planning Commission held their public hearing and voted 6-0 to recommend approval of the special use permit for that property. I have it on a map. I'll bring that up right now.
At the old Go Marine building?
It is the old Go Marine building, correct? Yeah, and generally, a public assembly venue by definition under our zoning regulation is an establishment that, 20 or more people may gather for singular purpose. We did review at the work session, the question was raised about entertainment type venues, bars, restaurants that may serve liquor within the area, or potential new ones that would pop up. The state liquor laws are as such that anything that is established today can remain. There is a 200-foot buffer. However, with this property being located within our C2 zoning, so our central business district, if a new restaurant venue may pop up, part of their liquor license requirement to be established would come in front of you and request an ordinance allowing that to take place if it was less than 200 foot from 323 South Main.
So this property will be designated as a church.
Correct.
So that means,
Our consideration though tonight is as a public assembly venue. They are going to Connect Church is the one who made application that has their intention to meet in it as a church, but we're considering it solely on the definition of a public assembly venue. There are implications with the church, so we looked into the liquor laws.
Explain that again, Scott. We're considering it as a public assembly,
Correct.
regardless of the fact that it's a church.
Yeah. Well, we can't solely look at it as a church. I mean, and Ashton may be able to elaborate a little bit on that, but taking the religious or any of those institutions out of the mix, we're looking at it as a space that 20 or more people are going to gather for singular events for our zoning regulations, definition of zoning regs.
So constitutionally, there's only certain things that we're allowed to consider by the governing body when we make decisions like this. And thinking about it specifically, you can't make these types of decisions based solely on church or any other kind of religious definition. So the reason that we use public assembly is because that's the appropriate way to do the analysis. So the reason Scott was giving you additional context is because the use of the public assembly may have an impact later on someone's ability, or restaurant or a bar's ability to apply for licensing, their liquor licensing. It's not impossible, right? It just will require a special application.
Yeah, it would require, as part of their licensing, to come before you, ask you for consideration of ordinance allowing liquor sales within less than 200 foot of this property. It's an additional step they have to do. Same with the church in the 100 block of South Main, same with the church in the 100 block of West Central.
But it wouldn't hurt them to establish a bar like where Jack's is right there right now, that's sitting empty. If they wanted to reopen it again, they could reopen it, but have to.
Correct.
Apply.
Whoever is getting the new license.
If their liquor license is expired, then they'd have to come before you and ask for a special exception to have a liquor license within 200 feet.
I don't think so.
Less than 200.
Of the church.
But Jack's and the brewery is, I measured it, they're about 450 feet where the brewery is from, so.
But existing restaurants and bars are fine.
Are fine.
Yeah.
There is no establishment currently today within that 200-foot buffer that is that type of restaurant, bar, entertainment. Vaudeville across the street, I guess it's right around there. But that's a block.
That's a block.
So bad directions.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve case number 21-05 SUP, requesting a special use permit for a public assembly venue at 323 South Main Street, and then ordinance number G 1359 be approved.
Second.
Motion and second. Further discussion or questions? Just to clarify, as this went before the Planning Commission, it looked like there was pretty extensive conversation at the Planning Commission, and they voted 6-0 in favor of approving this.
Correct.
Right?
Why was it tabled?
It was tabled because the owner of the building was not at the Planning Commission public hearing. The applicant was there, and there was a question that was raised, were all of the tenants in the residential spaces above notified of this? And the applicant couldn't say for 100% sure that everyone had been notified. They held that next meeting. It lasted about 5 minutes. The meeting, the owner of the building got up and said, yes, I spoke to all of my tenants.
Any other questions? Roll call, Ted.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Commissioner Badway?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mayor Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy?
Yes. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is consideration of Myers East Edition Public Infrastructure Authorization.
Mayor and Commission, this is for your consideration, the extension of Skyview Drive, which would be opening up an additional 18 lots for residential development. This development is the remaining platted tracts of the Myers East subdivision, which is just to the south and east of where Hazlet and Skyview intersect. Two projects were created for the improvements. Project 584 is for the paving and the storm sewer improvements for the development. And project 585 was for the sanitary sewer extensions to serve the addition. We bid this as a combined project. A lot of the work is, sewer work needs to take place right about the time storm sewer work. So we decided it would be in the city's best interest to bid these as a combined project and deal with one contractor on all levels of work, from dirt work to paving to storm sewer to sanitary sewer. So my estimate on the combined projects was $347,996. McCullough Excavation submitted the lowest and best bid at $321,083.50. And we're recommending that you consider allowing the city manager to award the contract, providing they furnish proper funds.
Do I have a motion?
Mayor, this improvement district affects property that's owned by my employer, so I'll be abstaining.
Okay. Thank you.
I move that since McCullough Excavation has submitted the lowest and best bid of $321,083.50 for projects number 584 and 585, the city manager be directed to award the contract to said contractor, providing that the company furnish the proper bonds.
Second. Motion is second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, consideration of proposed parks and recreation ordinances.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have two ordinances before you this evening for your consideration. The first would prohibit pets from El Dorado Recreation Department activities. This excludes service animals, of course. The purpose for this request, pets are becoming prevalent at the ball fields especially. We have lots of young and older folks walking around the facility. It's about safety. We've had some near incidents with pets being startled by kids running around, things of that nature. They've interrupted games. And sadly, we have some pet owners who are very good about cleaning up after their animals during the course of our events. So we brought this before you to give staff some support as we try to police this activity during ball games. The second ordinance that we have before you is to change the park hours. They currently, I believe, end at 11 p.m. It's 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. We're asking that to be changed from dawn to dusk. That gives law enforcement some extra latitude to make some decisions about people being in the parks after dark.
Dusk to dawn?
Dusk to dawn. Yes,
Okay.
sir. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They're going to close during the day.
So, again, there's discretion that law enforcement uses there, and this would exclude our lighted facilities such as the tennis complex and our ball fields and things of that nature if they're being used as intended.
Okay.
Or a special event if someone rents
Yes.
a gazebo or
Licenses.
Yes.
doesn't necessarily have to be a city event, but if someone has rented a
Yes,
facility, then they could stay later.
and special events would, based on this ordinance, would require approval of the city manager and 30 days' notice.
There's a third ordinance in this section tonight. We developed the code, the Title 18 of the code, and there isn't a fine associated with that title yet. And so we are proposing that we apply, trying to read it off the computer. A $50 fine, thank you, Scott, to any violation of a section in municipal code Title 18. So anything to do with parks and recreation, so a violation of the curfew, animals, smoking in parks, that kind of thing. Not smoking in parks, sorry, smoking at youth recreational
Youth
facilities.
recreation facilities, okay.
$50 fine.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter if it's the first time, 10th time. Does it progress, or is it just $50 every time?
$50 every time.
Okay.
Plus court costs.
Plus court.
I will tell you, a lot of those individuals that are going to be cited, if they end up being cited, it's probably not going to be that.
But we do have the community service option for them now,
That's true.
so.
Awesome.
Is there still a jail option?
Mm,
Pardon?
No.
Not for this.
Do I have some motions?
I move to approve ordinance number 1360, an ordinance of the City of El Dorado, Kansas, amending Title 18 of the City of El Dorado, Kansas Municipal Code relating to violation of said section.
Second.
You can keep on trucking through these if you want.
Keep on going? Okay. I move to approve ordinance number 1361, an ordinance of the City of El Dorado, amending Title 18 of the El Dorado, Kansas Municipal Code relating to animals at youth recreational facilities.
Second.
Go on.
Let her rip there, Jeff.
Move to approve ordinance number 1362, an ordinance of the City of El Dorado amending Title 18 of the El Dorado, Kansas Municipal Code relating to curfews for park facilities.
Second.
We have three motions and 3 seconds in front of us. Is there any discussion, questions for Kevin or staff? Seeing that there is none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. The 3 motions carry 5-0. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 16, consideration of Graham Park Playground.
The north playground equipment at Graham Park has deteriorated over its at least 20-year lifespan and is in need of replacement. We have gone before the Excess Sales Tax Committee requesting funds to replace that playground equipment. We sent bid packets out to several vendors. We received 3 responses. And before you tonight, we are recommending the approval of the bid from ABC Creative to purchase new playground equipment for the north side of Graham Park to be installed by city staff. This went before the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. The majority of the members were in favor of this equipment. It was also put out in a social media poll, and it was the overwhelming favorite.
You ready for a motion?
I am.
I move to approve the bid for ABC Creative for playground equipment at Graham Park.
Second. Motion is second. Is there any further discussion or questions for Kevin on this one? Seeing that there are none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing some new equipment down there. Next item on the agenda, consideration of Orsolyn's IRB agreement. Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the governing body. This is, of course, concerning the Orsolyn project, which has been constructed for a while now, and the IRB, the industrial revenue bond that the city has the ordinance before tonight, basically is the last action of the governing body needed to actually issue that bond, the issuance of which will complete the financing circle from the state law perspective to allow the folks at Orsolyn to continue to claim their sales tax exemption on all of their materials that they use to construct the project in the first place. The state law requires that in order for that sales tax exemption certificate, which Orsolyn already has, that was granted pursuant to the city's intent resolution adopted over a year ago for the project, the bonds must be issued. So this is the last step in order to allow the issuance of the bonds. Of course, the city is a conduit issuer in this circumstance. There's no city funds at stake. The Orsolyn team has actually purchased its own bond, and so really, this is the city's authorization to basically, like I said, complete the financing circle and allow the project to wrap up. So the bond would actually be issued this year, and then pursuant to the bond documents, it would be paid off next year, at which time it would all go away. So, I was just gonna say, the only action that the governing body has before tonight is the ordinance actually authorizing the issuance of the bonds.
Which is that action taken on something we authorized previously.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve ordinance number G 1363, an ordinance authorizing the city of El Dorado, Kansas to issue its taxable industrial revenue bond series 2021 Orsolyn project for the purpose of the acquisition, construction, and equipping a commercial facility and authorizing certain other related documents and actions.
Second.
Motion is second. Do we have any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Kansas, consideration of Kansas Collegiate Baseball Agreement.
Mayor and Commissioners, we have before you a facility use agreement that we're recommending that you authorize the city manager to sign for the Kansas Collegiate Baseball League to have a summer baseball team at McDonald Stadium this season. You've seen in your documentation, the agreement would be for this season with the option to renew. The baseball league would play somewhere between 16 and 20 games at the facility, home games. They've agreed to a 4th of July baseball games to coincide with their fireworks display. They would pay the city $2,000 fee and be responsible for routine maintenance and cleanup after use. The city would maintain the field as we do currently. That's a broad overview of this request. Be happy to answer any questions. Representatives from KCPL are here if you have questions for them.
Is there a name yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna work with you on that.
Okay.
Yes, you are. I saw some of the ideas.
Do I see a contest in the future?
Possibly so, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
I move to authorize the city manager to sign an agreement with the Kansas Collegiate Baseball League.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further conversation? I have a couple of quick questions. So if they're going to schedule, you said 16 to 20 games, home games, so that leaves the facility open for the rest of our recreation programs and anything else that we might be able to schedule in there.
Yes, we've had those conversations with the league. They actually produce the schedule themselves, and we've shared with them that we would have some recreation league games that would need to be played, some American Legion games that would need to be played, and they're more than willing to adjust schedules and work with us to make sure those things occur.
Well, I know this is summer collegiate ball, and so it's generally going to run toward the end of May, 1st of June through NBC, through that time.
First week of August.
First week of August.
Yep.
Okay. This is great. I think that it's great getting baseball back at our stadium. We need it. Is there any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're looking forward to it. We want a good name.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys. Agenda item number 19, consideration and sale of GEO Bond Series 2021.
Mayor, members of the commission, Tom Calico with Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors, the city's financial advisor. Good to be with you this evening. I'll bring you the results of today's sale of your 2021A general obligation bonds. You have before you this evening two actions. First, to consider a ordinance authorizing the sale and then a resolution setting the terms of the bonds. There are $6,340,000 of 20-year bonds. It's broken into three kind of separate purposes. There's a 20-year purpose for the capital improvements, 15 years for the equipment, the fire truck that was mentioned earlier, and 11 years of which is a refunding of your 2011 general obligation bonds. That refunding specifically specifically and only for the saving on interest cost. We're keeping the term the same, just as a simple refinancing like you would your own home mortgage or other type of loan. You may note that the original amount that was anticipated was $7,130,000. That amount was reduced to the $6,340,000 because we received a premium bid on the bonds, which means the bond purchaser actually wanted to pay you in excess of the face value. And they do that specifically. It's mostly for a marketing purpose, so the city accepts a larger coupon on the bonds. When you count the premium in, you're still paying a lower interest rate. But bondholders like to hold higher coupon bonds in what they perceive to be a rising interest environment, and it's just to make them more marketable. So what we did is we took that premium and we reduced the amount borrowed, and that basically keeps you in basically the same position that you started out pursuing. I know that's a little bit of bond speak, and I'll pause there because I often lose people on that. I'm happy to cover it again if I've lost you.
This is what you're referring to, right?
Yeah, so you'll see up at the top, is that the bid form you have in front of you? So you'll see at the very top it says where it tells you basically they're going to pay in excess of the amount. That's the premium that I'm.
So Tom, how much did that save us?
Okay, so I'll just jump right to that since you asked me that. So on the refunding portion, we saved $351,000 on a present value basis. That's 10.5% of the refunded principal, which is an excellent refunding savings. The bids today were taken today at 10 a.m., so we sold this through a bid process, lowest interest rate wins. We received 7 bids, which is an excellent number. I look back to the last GO bond, we also received 7 bids, so you've consistently gotten really good response from the market. The winning bidder was Robert W. Baird out of their Milwaukee office at a true interest cost of 1.45%. Yeah, that's still amazing. That's on so I gave you the present value savings of $351,000. Cash flow, basically it's about $34,500 a year in just pure cash flow savings. We feel it's a very aggressive bid based on both the number of bids that you received as well as market indices. As we normally do, we pursued a bond rating with S&P Global. S&P affirmed your existing AA- rating and assigned that rating to these refunding and improvement bonds. In their report, S&P noted several strengths of the city. Those include strong budgetary performance, very strong budgetary flexibility and liquidity, as well as strong financial management. So kudos to all of you on that. And I want to extend my compliments and appreciation to both your staff, who do an excellent job, as well as Gilmore and Bell, your bond counsel. You have a wonderful team working for you. So with that, I would recommend award of the bonds to Robert W. Baird. Happy to answer any questions.
As usual, good job.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Well, it's our honor to serve the city. Thank you very much.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve ordinance number G 1363, an ordinance authorizing and providing for the issuance of general obligation refunding and improvement bonds, Series 2021A, of the City of El Dorado, Kansas, providing for the levy and collection of an annual tax for the purpose of paying the principal of and interest on said bonds as they become due, authorizing certain other documents and actions in connection therewith, and making certain covenants with respect thereto.
Second.
Motion is second. Tabitha, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Badway?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mayor Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Guthrie?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson?
Yeah.
Commissioner Hughes?
Sorry.
Yes.
Vote twice.
Sorry. Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Typo in my minutes.
And then we need a second motion for the resolution.
Move to approve resolution number 2931, a resolution prescribing the form and detail of and authorizing and directing the sale and delivery of general obligation refunding and improvement bonds, Series 2021A of the City of El Dorado, Kansas, previously authorized by ordinance number G 1363 of the issuer, making certain covenants and agreements to provide for the payment and security thereof, and authorizing certain other document and actions connected therewith.
Motion and second. Any further discussion on this one? I want to echo what Nick said. Tom, we appreciate the work you guys do, and I think this is a really, like you said, a great testament to the work that staff does with our financials, our budget process. We just sit up here and look pretty. They do all the hard work for us, so we wouldn't be getting this many bids, these rates, and this rating if not for the work that staff does. So I appreciate all of you guys for that. Any other thoughts or comments before we move on? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. That's it for the action items, and we don't have anything on discussion items, so we're going to move on to City Commission and Advisory Board updates. And we will start with Commissioner Gutt.
No, I don't have anything.
Commissioner Lewis.
I don't have anything.
Commissioner Bedwick.
Library board met, I believe it was on the 8th. Library had 3 condensing units replaced, and of course now we don't need them, but maybe today, but anyway, they're in. They call it a Knox box, and I was told that so if there's a problem of a fire or something, they don't have to kick the door in.
Oh.
They can use this. Had a problem with and it was just during large rain events in the back. There was a kind of a well where you walk down, and it went down into the children's, and there was a sump down there with a pump in it, and apparently the pump was plugged up, and that's why we got water down in there. But it's been taken care of by Public Works, and we had an administrative assistant who had been a part-time position. That's now going to be a full-time position as of the 1st. And then they posted the public services position, which was Micah, our new director's old position. So she's been doing both. And so that's a full-time position, requires a degree. So if anybody out there looking for an employment in the library. And then I was just going to say, of the committees I've served on, and I haven't, and advisory boards, I haven't served on a lot, but I've really enjoyed the library board. I use the library a lot. It's saved me thousands of dollars because I read a lot. And when you're in there, I mean, you see people that probably went to MIT, and you see people that probably can't spell MIT. But everybody uses that, and it's really cool. And I enjoyed it. So that's all I got.
Appreciate that, Nick. Commissioner Wilkins.
The EFABC was scheduled to meet last week, but was unable to meet, so that will be rescheduled. Parks and Rec, their upcoming meeting is this Wednesday. That's it.
I don't have any updates other than we'll have an opportunity in the December meeting to discuss this a little bit, but I just wanted to tell Matt and Nick both, the first meeting in December will be your guys' last meeting. I've really appreciated the opportunity to serve up here with you guys, both of you. And we've had some really robust discussions, both at this table and in the parking lot a couple of times. So it's been appreciated. I appreciate all the dedication you guys have had and will continue hopefully to have towards the betterment of the city. So we'll have more opportunity next, the first meeting in December to get a little sappy, but I do appreciate you guys a lot. And we'll move on from here, but thank you for your service on the commission. Nick, 12 years?
13.
13 years, Matt, 4 years?
Thanks to
Four.
the legislature.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right, that's right, that's right.
Would have been 12, but they
Yep.
sucked another year out of me.
So it's a lot of time, and I appreciate that. You guys know as well as anybody that it's a big commitment. There's a lot of time commitment outside of just coming in here once every couple of weeks, so thanks for the work you guys have done. City managers report.
So as you all know, and some of the members of the public know, we are in the process of conducting some due diligence to figure out what the community thinks the next police chief needs to look like. We want to thank all those folks that have completed the survey. We had over 235 responses, giving us real good feedback in terms of the traits and characteristics that our next police chief will need to be successful, as well as helping identify some of the issues that they see in the community that law enforcement will be integrally involved with. So we're very appreciative of that. I'm continuing to talk to various groups. This morning I talked to USD 490 principals, as well as I also met with some of the students at the high school. All 4 classes were represented in our conversation, as well as 375. I'm also talking to a law enforcement forum here soon, and I talked to the lieutenants in kind of a ride-along / office visits kind of thing. And then the department was also provided an opportunity to participate in a survey as well. So we're getting some real good feedback that'll help us complete the position profile and then ultimately construct the advertisement, which I hope to have out by the end of this week so we can begin advertising for that position. KDOT received the K284 Corridor Development Association's request to conduct or to begin a corridor management study along the corridor between East Wichita and West El Dorado. They will review that, and although it is anticipated that KDOT will make an announcement in the coming months that they will select the corridor for a corridor management study. You may recall that a corridor safety study was conducted along the corridor, a part of the corridor, and it identified some safety improvements that could be made to make the corridor a little bit safer. Some of those improvements KDOT will begin implementing very soon because they're very easy to do, some of which include such things as moving stop signs closer to the intersection. In some of those side roads, the stop sign is upwards of 60 feet or more back from the intersection, which kind of creates a double stop issue, which is confusing to some drivers. So that's an easy thing that they can do, but there are some other things that they will also be looking at as far as like a phase 1 approach. Once KDOT approves, assuming they do approve the corridor management study, then they will begin that study. After selecting a consultant, it will probably take about a year to complete that study. And what it will do is provide, in essence, some recommendations for improving the corridor from a safety standpoint, the movement standpoint, which will eventually trigger some projects for a capital improvement plan process for KDOT. It is good to note that all of the communities, all of the local governments located along the corridor participated in the study, and so we do have pretty resounding participation with respect to that. One other thing that I will note for the commission as well as the public, the lobby out here will be closed, well, the lobby will be open, but the utility building will be closed on December 2nd, and that is to allow for the utility building department to do a retreat or a kind of planning type meeting with the new finance director, Alyssa Warner. So if you need to pay your bill, you can still do that by mail or online, but we'll just have that office closed down for 1 day to allow for them to do those activities.
And the drive-up window will be closed too?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, good point.
The Dropbox will be open, and if someone needs a lesson.
So the drop box will be open, so you can drive up and
But the window will be closed.
the window will be closed. There will not be an attendant doing that. So,
Or someone could leave a voicemail if they have a
or
question.
somebody can leave a voicemail. If there's any, not any questions, that's all I have now.
Thanks, David. We have an executive session scheduled.
Mr. Mayor, before you find out your time, I need to change that motion. I apologize, David and I were not present on Friday to review the agenda, and it looks like it was copied from the last one. It should say, for the purposes of discussing non-elected personnel, specifically the city manager's evaluation, not succession plans.
Does it need to say the city manager? Can it just say non-elected personnel?
You have to say what the purpose under non-elected personnel is now.
Non-elected personnel.
Specifically the city manager's
Okay,
evaluation.
all right.
Okay, how much time?
How much time?
Half hour?
I think so.
Do you think so?
Mhm.
Well, then that's what
That's good enough for me. I move to recess into executive session pursuant to the non-elected personnel exemption under KSA 75-4319B1 for the purpose of discussing non-elected personnel, specifically the city manager, and to reconvene the meeting at 8:10 PM in the city commission room.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
God tried the way that she got loving me. Why'd you keep holding on when love was already gone? The times you said you weren't feeling well, did you think that I couldn't tell you'd been with someone?
I mean, you're not on TV right now, but the camera's live.
I move we go back into executive session and come out at 8:25.
Second. Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Or with me,
We need you.
Yeah, it's your turn.
did you include me in the motion?
Okay, welcome back, everyone. We're back from executive session in which we did have a discussion and some action in executive session. So Commissioner Badway is going to tell us what that was.
We allowed the city manager's contract to renew with an annual compensation increase.
Awesome. That's it. Anything else for the night? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. David, thank you. Ashlyn, thank you. Tabitha, thank you. I signed all that crap, Tabitha, that you had for me, so.
You missed it. I was trying to check your